Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktr.ee at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now. What's up, family? How you doing? It's your brother King Simon right here on King Simon Presents Only Quality People and the Numerovation Nation. We're broadcasting live, family. Today, we got a special show for you today. Can't wait to have this beautiful person on. And I'm excited about having her on because I've known her for many moons. Man, we go back almost to Brooklyn College back in the day. When I used to perform as a reggae artist back in the day, those who know, I was known as Simon Templar, Anthony Simon Templar Brown, reggae artist extraordinaire. Went up to number 5 on the chart with Clinton Lindsay's, of course, big countdown he used to do. And of course, Clive Hudson was my producer. King Jammies was my producer. Johnny Wonder was my producer. Signet Records with Sting International with Murray Alliance was my producer back in the day. So I've been working in this field for a long time. Do remember, I have 2 rules. But it's 3, to tell you the truth. Matter of fact, it's 4. Like, subscribe, share, and circulate and donate to the channel. That's a beautiful thing to do. Of course, you can donate through Cash App. That's King Simon, $ King Simon 3158, or PayPal at paypal.me/King Simon. Or you can use the Super Chat, baby. Super Chat. We're broadcasting on 2 Facebook pages. That's King Simon Productions and King Simon. Also, we're broadcasting on Twitter, and we're broadcasting on this YouTube page, which is called King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Just want to remind everybody, you're more than welcome to go to my Patreon, because that's where I got all the exclusive content. I have an exclusive interview with Dr. Sabi on the Patreon page. I got exclusive interviews with Phil Valentine on the Patreon page. I got exclusive interviews and also workshops with Iris Latham, the raw foodist from back in the day. I have exclusive interview of Ma Bowman with Dr. Sabi's wife, who started the whole healing journey. I have exclusive interview with Renoko Rashidi doing an event with me back in the day. So, I left the reggae fraternity to do more conscious stuff and more. And although I was doing conscious reggae, people know me from SOBs, Urban Plaza, all the places back in the day. But I had to leave, and we're going to have a dear friend of mine coming up at 3:03 next approximate 2 minutes. And I just wanted to send people to my Patreon page, and it's only like $5.55 to $10 if you want to join my Patreon page, where we are actually featuring some of the great ones that have passed on in the health field, in the natural health perspective field. And big up to Queen of Four, who was also on my show recently, and Paula Herlock, and all these great people that I've had on. And I'm working. I'm constantly working in the spirit of Garvey, of course, in the spirit of Marcus Garvey. I'm going to be working, because that's just the era I come from. That's the family I come from. And that's what I've been doing for many years. But let me tell you, family, the person that I am about to bring on right here on my show in the next minute, Sharon is one of these extraordinary award-winning producers, actress, storytellers, audiobook narrators, acclaimed journalist, publicist, promoter, and special events coordinator, whose exemplary talents are represented in print, on radio, within the Jamaican diaspora, as a community leader and cultural influencer. She has done so much. She's worked with so many people. She's done so much writings. Her bio is extensive. So I'm not going to read that bio, because that's a book in itself. So without any further ado, we want to welcome on the stage of King Simon Presents Only Quality People, for the first time ever, a dear friend of mine, your sister, my sister, the one, the only Sharon Gordon. Sharon.
Oh my gosh. Look, I have my cup of tea, because I knew we're going to be spilling some tea today.
I'm spilling water today. I'm spilling water.
I have my water too. Babe, make sure I had my water.
How you been, Sharon? What's up, girl?
I am blessed. I'm happy to be here. First time.
Finally. We worked on radio stations and on stages years ago, man. We are back like diaper. Nappy.
Long time.
And big up.
Me. Omar, let me see. Omar is going to be 30. Omar is 38. I'm going to leave it at that.
Right.
Wow.
And he wasn't born when I met him.
He ain't going right. So I'm going to stop right there. At that point.
None of my children, and I got 9 of them, wasn't born when I met So, oh my gosh.
It amazes me when people say, a long time we do this. I'm like, okay. I kind of knew when you came on the scene.
Exactly, and it's interesting, because I've been promoting since I was 12. But my father owned a reggae lounge in the year I was born here in America, but I was going back and forth to Jamaica and Canada. And my father opened a lounge the year I was born here in America, pure reggae dance, all that, and that's all he was doing. And he had a connection with Roland Alfonso from the Scandalites. You remember?
Big up Roland.
We was at Apache restaurant.
Yes. He's selling his records right there. Big up to Noel and
I still have the
family listening. Yes.
And my father sent me over there to get some music back because he transitioned from the paramedics and the music and went into Christianity and did his thing. Respect him as a minister doing his thing. He left it alone because that was one of those eras. But Sharon, it's been a long journey, and by all the accolades, and especially the bio you sent me, long bio, man, up my arm.
And that was the abbreviated one.
I know.
I abbreviated. That was the abbreviated.
I know that was definitely abbreviated. Big up to Laura James. Big up to CJ. What up, CJ?
Big up to Laura James. Big up CJ. Big up everybody that's on. Come, tell everybody to come. We haven't started yet. But you know something? You just said big up Laura. Can I just take a moment to plug Laura?
Sure. There's Laura. Hey, Laura.
Talking about the children. I was with Laura and her children yesterday, and the baby just turned 30. And I'm looking at her, Simon, and I'm going, wow.
Wow.
The baby is 30.
Wow.
So up to Zuri, who had a birthday yesterday. But yesterday, Laura just did her book. My mother was a nanny.
Oh, really? I gotta get you on. Laura.
I get her on. I'm plugging her right now. You got to bring her on.
You got to bring her on.
I read for her for the book. We were supposed to have been at the Brooklyn Public Library, but because of the rally yesterday, they postponed it for next Saturday. And we can't waste a good party, so we took it to Laura's house, and I read there. But I just wanted to plug Laura. For those of you who don't know, go check out Laura James' art, and you'll see what we're talking about. But as Simon was saying, there's so many tributaries and connections. We have come from far. Big up Pat Lawrence.
From far. I remember.
I felt travel Alcantors in the
I remember. Speak up to CJ, of course.
CJ, my baby.
CJ, like I said at her husband's funeral, that it was Ian that prompted me to become a graphic artist, and I'm doing my own graphics like this. I'm doing my own graphics.
In the spirit of Ian.
Yes,
right?
the spirit of all of this. I'm doing all. Let me show you. I'm doing all of this now. I'm doing this.
Ian will be proud of you.
I'm doing all of this because of Ian. I'm doing this because of Ian. Lord have mercy.
Ian would be proud of you. Dreadless Ross.
Dreadless Ross. And I remember he used to do the graphics for my SOBs logo.
For everything. He did the graphics for everything. Come on. Let me take people back. Since we're going back, I'm gonna go way. Let me just pull a string since you went there.
Okay.
Put things in context.
Yes.
So Simone Gill.
Yes. Oh, yes. From Caribbean.
Started this newspaper called Caribbean Life.
Caribbean Life. Right.
And I was one of the original writers.
Yes, that's right.
With Caribbean Life, it used to be called. I think it used to be called Tell It Like It Is, and then I did Straight Talk. It was always
Sherry and all of y'all. Sherry and all of y'all was over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sherry.
Now, when Simone started that, this is long before we're doing what we're doing now. We can just throw things together on the internet and like digital copies. No, we had to lay the paper out, send the paper in the back of a cab over to. I'm laughing because this is what we did. Over to Caribbean Life's office, right?
Right.
And then Ian would have had to have set up everything and make sure that the pictures were right. Because remember them days we had to get the pictures, Simon, we had to tell them what dimension to put the picture at. Yep. Okay, remember 50%,
of course.
60%, because Ian is setting that up for Simone, and then whatever verb, whatever captions and what have you, and the stories that we typed them out. And we set them out. But this is how we did a mock-up. It was called a mock-up. We had to send the mock-up of the paper over to the publishers, and then it would get published. We don't even have to do that now. I know if Ian was here right now, he'd be laughing and going, wow, his work would have just gotten so much easier because that brother worked, and his mark is on so many
so many stuff, man.
So many stuff that people see it and just take it for granted. You can't call certain names and you don't call Ian's name, because it was Ian who was doing all the graphics for that. Like you said, your SOB period, all of my shows that I was doing back then with George Crooks. Yes, I used to be George's right-hand person for many
That's right. Even when we opened up Temptations, we did when Junior was doing Legend and all these different we was there with all the transformations for Jammins and Legendary Promotions. And that's interesting because I was reading Copeland's book, and of course I'll have him on tonight, and he big up to Copeland Forbes, and he He mentioned your name. He mentioned George's name and Jammin's. Big up to the whole Jammin's crew, because I was a part of the Jammin's crew as a promoter and all that kind of stuff. Big Tree, before he transitioned.
Yeah.
My brother Tree. We know we always had him on the streets doing, he was working with everybody. But Sharon, man, it's been a journey and we're still here. And I got to give that applause. We're still here.
And you got to tell me who and who is on, because I see folks are saying they're on. So
yes,
I can't see them. So shout out to everybody who is on. I love you.
Dreadless Ross, of course, Dreadless Ross. One time he had dreads, and then he became he had dreads first. You
don't have to dread to be Rasta, right? So
exactly.
Cut the locks off, but he was the Dreadless Ross. There's so much we can talk about, but it's your interview, right?
Yes. We're gonna go there, because I know you can take over in a minute. I already know this.
It's your interview. It's your interview, brother man. I'm gonna pull back and allow you to do what you do. All right, I'm gonna let you do what you do. I can't talk about me. It's very difficult.
Let me quote something, and big up to Rochelle and everybody coming in. What's up, Rochelle?
Hi, Rochelle.
What's up, girl?
Jersey
all of everybody. Most of y'all know me as Simon Templar back in the day. Don't worry about it.
We know King Simon.
Yeah. My King Simon was King Simon Productions, but that was everybody just called me King, and I just stayed with it. So y'all know me as Simon Templar. And I want to quote something that came up on before I get into the interview. I want to say on my Yogi Tea this morning, it says, "Your actions proves your greatness. Your actions prove your greatness." And by all of the accolades that I've read so far, and there's much more, and that was just a brief bio. Sharon, where did it all begin for you to have such a love for all that you do, which is what I call, and I said this on another program when I was speaking about you, I call it multiple streams of income, when we wasn't even saying those words back in the day.
We didn't know what we was doing.
We didn't know what multiple streams. We just wanted to do what we do.
Yeah.
So because we love what we did, sometimes we didn't get paid.
Other times we didn't get paid for it.
Sometimes we didn't get paid.
For it. We were doing stuff.
What started you on a journey from Jamaica to America? Let's start in Jamaica first, and let's go.
Oh, for those who don't know, I'm actually Jamaican. Yes, I was born on the beautiful Isle of Jamaica.
Yes,
and I had the privilege of being around. I have production, I have people producing me in here, okay, telling me how to be right. So y'all just work with me as I right. They want me to look good. They want Miss G to look good,
Yes.
All right. So here I am. Am I better now? My producer, my producer.
Your producer, yeah.
But
you're straight.
I'm good now. Okay,
yes,
so
you're good. You're always good.
A good place for me to start, which is where it started. So I went to St. Joseph's primary school, which was a Catholic school. They had the boys' school and the girls' school. St. Aloysius was the boys' school. We were the girls' school. St. Joseph.
Yes.
And when I landed at St. Joseph, having been the precocious little girl that I was, my mother used to call me village lawyer. And if my auntie or anybody listening, they're gonna say, "Yep, from Shaban to chatting." It's true. They said. From a bond near chat, right? So how ironic is it that I get paid to speak for my life? But anyway, so we started at St. Joseph's, and me and my friends, Jacqueline Wright, Rosalie Gordon, whose name is actually Sharon Rosalie Gordon, and I'm Sharon Lorraine Gordon, born just 5 days apart. And our parents decided, okay, you'll be Lorraine, and she'll be Rosalie. So when people meet me and they say Lorraine, I know they know me when I was a little girl. Right, but anyway, Miss Power was the dance teacher then, and they used to have dance competitions for festival time. Yes. And when we arrived, they were doing dances, and we went up there and we told Miss Power that we want to dance, me being the leader of the pack. And she said, "No, you're too young." But we were in what we call infant school at the time, baby school. And she said, "When you get to grade 1, come back and see me." Well, we used to be up there watching the big girls dance, hanging out, watching under the desk, behind the blackboard. Right, and when we got to Miss Robinson class in grade 1, You know, I marched up there with my girls and Maureen Miles, Rosalie Gordon, Charlene Kirkland, Jacqueline Wright. Oh gosh, I'm missing out people. Karen Daly. Gosh, I know, because we're all friends still. We're all friends still. This is no joke. What did I say, Maureen? We're all still friends. Cheryl Stewart, who was Tinga Stewart's little sister. We all marched up there, and I said, I have my dancers. I said, we're ready to dance. Well, the rest is history, Simon, because that's how St. Joseph's had their, what they call we were the under 13 dancers. And we went on to win a lot of gold medals for St. Joseph's. And that's when a woman by the name of Louise Bennett discovered me. And I say she discovered me because they said I was precocious and I was, Jamaican said, it wasn't that I was bad or rude. It's that I was my own little person, And I always question people when they told me stuff. Like, if you tell me not to do something, I'm saying, why I can't do it? Like, why? And so Miss Lou, we used to dance for these various, dignitaries and what have you. As little girls, we were the star dancers. And when President Nyerere came to Jamaica, you name it, any big shots, whatever, we would dance at King's House, at the stadium. And then we used to dance at Little Theater, and we got scholarships to go to J-Teen's dance group, which was at Little Theater, and Miss Joyce Campbell ran that. That's the years now of Rex Nettleford and people like that. But all our teachers. But what happened was, it was an intersection, because Miss Lou was doing this thing called ring ding that she just started doing on TV, and she snatched us. Right. And she snatched, and when I said snatched us, all of us, because at the time, all of those people I'm mentioning, they were pouring the pride of our culture into us, that generation of us. Right. I'm a true independence baby, right? I was conceived in 1962 and I was born in 1962. So we benefited from folks like Miss Lou and Joyce Campbell and Rex Nettleford and all these people that were pouring, and Miss Power and all them that was pouring into us. And there started my romance, because Miss Lou would be taping on a Saturday.
Wait, hold on. Stick a pin. What tell people who Miss Lou was and who she is to Jamaica.
Louise Bennett Coverley. Google her now. It's real. Google her.
Please. We know our Miss Snacks. She'll listen in the spirit realm.
Oh, she would say, Sharon, tell them who me.
That's why I got smacked in the back of my head to tell you do it. Go ahead.
So Miss Lou was Jamaica's first lady. People say comedy culture. I say culture. She loved her culture so much that she dedicated her entire life. She could have been anything she wanted to be. She decided she was going to document everything about the African influence on us as a people, our dialect, or cuisine, or songs, or movement, everything. And so Miss Lou was a poet. She was a playwright. She was an actress. She was my mentor. She was a pioneer. She told us that patois was proper. We can speak with language, proud. And she taught us about our connection to Ghana with the language Twi, and how important Twi was, and that language. Everybody Buddha nonos. And I'm looking at all of my friends out here, and I can't keep up to everybody logging on, but love you all. But just Buddha nonos, right? She taught us these words, and she taught us how to love ourselves and be proud of ourselves, and not be afraid to speak in this language, because you must understand that at that time in the 60s, we're learning about William Wordsworth, and we're learning about
they're still wearing the European wigs.
That they would speak very with your mouth like and when we are chat, Miss Lou said, "Open your mouth and chat." Chat. And that is where it started. Miss Lou was, I said Miss Power because she was my dance teacher, but it was through Miss Power I got to Miss Lou, because Miss Lou then had us, we were regulars on Ring Ding. And there on a Saturday, I sat and I met so many who would go on to become, big timers now. Can't leave out Miss Marjorie Wiley. you know, who was the musical, provided all of that musical accompaniment for Miss Lou. But we learned about our culture. We learned folk songs that were work songs. We understood what the words meant. We understood why the songs became so important, a part of, you know, how people had to get through their day, this hard life, you know, that we had, and how we were not beasts of burden, but that because of our circumstances, we can make a tune and lick a tune, or bust a joke, or tell a brother Nancy's story, or bust a riddle, or something to lighten the load and make it a little lighter. And, you know, I know it's a long way to go around, but that's where it started. Big up Miss Lou. And that's why to this day, as you know, that? Wow. Oh, that's a clap. Oh, sorry.
Yes, that's applause. That's applause.
Okay, sorry. I'm not used to them things.
Unless you're there on stage.
You know, but that's why people know that's one of the things that I do. I channel Miss Lou. I get dressed up as Miss Lou. I will be at Brooklyn Public Library next week reading Laura James's book, My Mother Was a Nanny, as Miss Lou. I will be presenting as Miss Lou, because that's what Miss Lou did. She taught me to be a storyteller. I'm a natural storyteller, but she taught me to be a storyteller. She taught me how to capture an audience. She taught me how to perform. She taught me how to speak, how to stand in front of an audience, all the things that I do now and make a living from. And I say to people that I make a living from things that I just do. I've always done. And I've just been blessed, you know.
Well, you know, Sharon,
long answer.
Hold on. You know, we used to say, you know, live the life you love and love the life you live.
Yeah, no star.
When we was younger, and you know, Miss Lou, and hearing all the
Masran. Oh gosh, I can't forget Masran. Pantomime.
Pantomime. That's what. Yeah, my relatives were a part of that. My aunt and them was a part of that.
Right now.
Yeah, and you know, hearing about Anansi the spider, and when Miss Lou used to teach about Anansi the spider, which goes through the Ghana and
it's from Ghana.
It's from Ghana. So you know, and I remember my father said when he went to Ghana, he went on his knees and kissed the floor because it looked so much like Jamaica. It was like a Jamaica, and it pulled him right in from that history. So, you know, moving forward, because Miss Lou was such an archetype influence in your life, Miss Lou, the great Miss Lou, and those who don't know, Google her up. She's born September 7th, 1919. She died July 26th. I forgot what year, but family, you got to look up in that history. But you have the topic for today is the little island of Jamaica, its people and its influence on the world. And Sharon is one of those influences, one of those people that I've admired over the years, from the Brooklyn College days and all them thing there when we was doing little college tours. I still have a few clips with that. And big up to Sean Walsh, Bella Muss, and all them.
Big up to all my Baruch family, all the
and Baruch. And Baruch, yes, they can't say that for Baruch.
Funny you should say that, right? When I was at Baruch doing all that I'm doing, because we did it at Baruch, we were doing it at all the colleges. People didn't know.
Yeah, we're doing college tour.
Because I was at Hunter, I was at Baruch, I was at BMCC, I was at Brooklyn College, name them.
Yeah, I didn't even know you was in Baruch for that.
We were just everywhere. It's what we did, because Caribbean Student Association, the West Indian Student Association, wherever you go, we ran the student governments. We the table tennis club, big up to you and oh God, Billy and all the man them from back in the days, the table tennis club. So we knew that as Caribbean people in the States at a time when CUNY was and SUNY was kind of being like, wow, all these Caribbean people up inside here, where they come from? But we were really soaring. And I must tell you something that Laura made a point yesterday that I have always just said, and I know you feel the same way. Right. You know, she says the book is called My Mother Was a Nanny. But let me tell you something about them nannies, right?
Yes.
Them nannies. Yes, they were nannies, but they were purchasing homes.
Yes, they were. Yes,
they were purchasing buildings. Yeah. They were taking care of families, not just here, but back in Jamaica. Yeah. Antigua, Barbados, Trinidad, you name it. They were, and they taught us how to be industrious. So people, the word hustle has a lot of different meanings. Get your hustle on, you know, that means get out there and do something.
Yes.
Or you're a good hustler, meaning you can hustle, you can make money, you know, to do it. Now, there's also the other side of hustle. Oh, you know, you just out there hustling, slang, and whatever.
Of course.
Words have different meaning. It's that English language, right?
Right.
And I don't feel bad if I don't speak the English language well. I really don't. I learned to embrace that. It's a foreign tongue to me. I do try my best. You know, I can express myself very well in patois. I'm fluent in patois. Right?
Exactly.
Right? But English is a foreign tongue to me. I'm still learning, right? So we knew how to get our hustle on because of how our parents were. And our mothers especially were bakers, they were cooks, they were dressmakers.
Seamstresses,
They were counselors, mediators, you name it. And don't forget about like your grandmother, midwives and what have you.
Yes,
so
yes.
We must understand these women and the roles that they played in our lives. Many of them were nurses, being nurses, but working in the hospitals as just aides, but they were real nurses.
Yes,
nurses were learning from them. I see Lilith Clacken and Hyacinth Collins and all that family, the whole Collins women, them are nurses. And I'm just saying that this is something that we learned from these mothers who were nannies. So respect is due. My mother was a nanny, left her business in Jamaica. We were not, I didn't know that we were, you know, I found out later on that we weren't poor, you know, we were okay. My mother wasn't playing that game. Everybody get up and work. All right. She would tell us her helper was not there to help us, it was to help her. So go wash your clothes, go learn for wash your clothes.
They wash clothes by not near river and all kind of things.
I had no idea that these things were setting me up to become this woman that I am today. But I say all of this because, you know, we can't leave out our mothers and the roles that our mothers, I'm not dissing our dads or anything. Please don't write to me. I love my father very much.
Yeah. Please.
It's because we're talking about Laura's book that she just wrote, My Mother Was a Nanny, and you asking about the influences as they have come into my life. I cannot tell you how many good, strong women have influenced me in my life. My grandmother, Dai, gave the world one of the best, what should we call them? Musical treasures out here. And a whole line of them. Because so many of my cousins and family members are singers and musicians and what have you. But that's Dai. That's my grandmother. Yeah. So I say I pay respect to the women and the role that they have played in making us who we are in this dispensation right now in 2023 into 2024.
You know, you speak about the nanny, and I remember, you know, in Spanish, my auntie always had, you know, nannies and cleaning ladies around the house. To this day, I still fold up my bed and remember what they used to do to spread the bed every morning. And I still this day, you go in my room, it's a bread spread.
What time you have to wake up? Do you know one of the jokes with my friends, and everybody listening gonna laugh with it? People know this. People say to me, you don't sleep. You know, I go to bed early and I wake up early. Now I've always been an early riser. I can't help myself. My mother was like, the sun mustn't catch you in your bed. Only worthless people lay down in a bed when sun hot outside, right? So to this day, I'm tired. I don't want to lay in the bed. I have to be teaching myself now at 61, like, yo, I can lay in this bed if I want to, and I can. I get up and I got to do something because I feel like she's watching me. Because it's like you're worthless if you're laying in your bed. Get all you can done. Make hay while the sun shines. Do what you can do today, for tomorrow is not. I mean, all these things that they just drilled in us. That's what kept us going. I know it's worked for me. And I know many of those listening, you know, CJ will tell you about her grandmother, you know, Mrs. And I know everybody has a grandmother, a mother, an aunt, someone who, you know, are a group of them who this is what they did. They instilled that in us. Those values stay with us to this day.
Yes. And, you know, those that are just tuning in, we are speaking with the one, the only Sharon Gordon, award-winning producer, actress, narrator. acclaimed multi-journalist, publicist, promoter, community activist, and so much more. You can contact her by Sharon Gordon 621@gmail.com and hit her up at IG at I am Sharon Gordon. Now,
and mother to Omar, my love, Gordon.
Bring up to Omar, the virgin since he was a child, and seen him on the streets on 125th, hustling downtown Brooklyn, hustling his CDs and all the stuff that he. Yeah, a real hustler. We on the street.
Well, he was right there. You know, Omar used to be right there giving out flyers and doing everything, working. Put everybody to work.
Giving out flyers, him, Kafunya's children,
all of them. Big
all of us. We're doing flyers. Lord of mercy, I remember all of that.
They have to pick up Phil Ben and
Phil Ben, big up the music. Big up the streets of New York, of course. I gotta big up streets of New York all the time. Having having multiple disciplines is something that is new for this day and time, because that's what everybody's talking about. Multiple streams of income, multiple, diversified portfolio and all that. But we was doing this naturally.
Oh, yeah.
In the field of especially Caribbean music and providing good entertainment. Sometimes I remember being at SOBs and being the lighting person and the MC, and then had to be this son, had to be.
There was but we did it. But it had to be that way, Sam, and that's why we're how we are.
Yes.
I mean, shout outs to so many people, and this is what happens when we start shouting out, because I am gonna forget people. But as you're talking about those days, I remember Karen Mason, may her soul rest in peace.
May she rest in peace. Yes.
I remember Karen with her little daughter, Jordana Kenya, who is now Kenya Jordana, who is doing so well for herself now. But I remember Karen reaching out to me and telling me to come do street work. People don't even know about street work. And that's why, Simon, we chopped down a lot of land, chopped down a lot of brush and really cleared a path, because before Karen, it was Elaine Valentine.
Elaine Valentine, my girl, Steph Gong and the whole crew.
Elaine Valentine. I'll never forget. CJ, you remember this? Elaine Valentine, a guy named Red Fox was getting ready to be real big. He was doing his album, and the album was getting ready to be released by Elektra Records. And them days I was in Brooklyn doing everything I'm doing now. I can't forget Gil Bailey, and we will get to Gil Bailey and his role in my life.
And his wife. Please don't forget
Pat Bailey, who are like, they put me on radio and let me know that I had
WNWK,
on radio, right? Now, Elaine, prior to, I'm doing all that I'm doing in Brooklyn, and Elaine Valentine reaches out to me and says to me, I want you to do Red Fox's press release party. Mm-hmm. And Lulu, Reverend Badu's mother, Lulu, was doing jerk chicken right on Church Avenue and 54th Street. And we used to live in their house. I know Miss Lulu. And the next thing you know, CJ will tell you that I'm like, what? She's like, yes, Sharon, you can come out of Brooklyn and come to Manhattan and do it. You're doing it in Brooklyn. Just bring it and come. We want the real authentic Jamaican flavor for this. This is the first time anything like this was going to happen. Allison Ione. Oh, Allison.
My photographer. Yes.
Allison. And we did that party. I don't even know if Red Fox even knows that it was me who did his press party. Everybody was there, Simon.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was so good. But that is what took me into the city now and got me doing. And then Karen said to me, well, if you can do that, you can do this. And before you know it, I'm street team. I'm putting up, people don't even know. I used to be out there. That's why when I started doing my own shows and I used to pay people to do street promotions to me and they were messing up, I'm like, don't worry about it, baby. You don't even know.
Do it ourselves. Do it
myself. And they're like, what? People used to see me on the street, putting up my posters, giving up my flyers, and they're looking like, but you Sharon Gordon? And I'm like, yes, and this is my show. Is there, talk to me. What are you saying? What exactly are you saying?
People don't realize that those people use. I've seen Larry on the streets. I've seen Steve Wiseman on the street from Tramps. I've seen all of us was on the streets.
But we were in the street hustling them days because that's how we get our flyers and our posters up. And I say that I had to shout out Elaine and Karen because
I just sent Elaine this link.
Good. Because Elaine did that, and she would tell me, she would push me and say, you can do it. Another person who pushed me in a way that took me overseas, and I know I'm jumping around though, but because we're talking about all of these different hats that I've worn, is big up Pat Lawrence. Pat introduced me to someone who has since passed away, Wayne Ati. But I don't know if you remember, Simon, when I was living in England, when I was running this record label, Ati's record label, where I was going from Jamaica. We would go down to Jamaica to the pressing plant. This is pre-CDs, y'all. So
right. Very much pre-CDs.
45s. So we had to go to Dynamic to get the records pressed. Then I would bring them back to New York, and you try to get them. Some go at VP, some go at, Joe gives at different places.
Superpower.
You go to England and you get some to Jetstar. God bless Mr. Palmer. We go to Jetstar, and we had a house in Handsworth Wood. Steel Pulses from Handsworth. We were up in Handsworth Wood, but I was running a whole label, and at the same time, about 20 artists were under this label that we were doing vocal lessons and this and that, putting them in shows, and I was getting them back in the day, Simon, Sunsplash, Reggae Sunsplash. Right. Because of Elaine, I had the contact with Sharon Burke and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Then we were putting them on Sumfest because of Ken Miller and Pat Lawrence. We had the contact with Sting. And then because I was writing for the Gleaner, they saw me as a journalist writing for the Gleaner, and I was doing publicity, as you know, back in the day. Yes. But then I had these artists that I was trying to get on. And so this is what it was. We were doing so many things, and there were, intersectionalities, right?
Yes.
But we were getting it done. When I hear Naturally and artists like that, I just laugh because, it's such a story. I just kind of.
No. I mean, it's good. No. Exactly where you needed to go. That's how the ancestors work. We have to go there because, a lot of people don't recognize the people. They don't recognize the people behind the scenes.
But a lot of these artists that are big names now, Simon, I have a lot to do with them. It's just as you do.
Yes.
People don't know that. I mean, whether it's Shaggy, Butcher Banton, Capleton, name the name, Beanie Man, Bounty. I can name up the name, Ladies. So all of them. My son says to me all the time, he says to me, Mommy, because he'll be telling people stories, and he has to call me and be like, Ma, didn't you do something? And I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, okay, bye. I'm not
I just wanted to hear the verification.
Because they don't believe.
They don't believe
he tells them these stories that it was my mom. Yep. I remember when I was taking cassettes, Sam, I remember days we used to get the advanced cassettes, and I used to take them to the barbershops and to the beauty shops. And so people need to know that I've always been a niche marketer, and it was one of my skill sets. But it's because, like somebody just posted, as a yard woman, I had a million jobs. I just knew how to get a lot done. So I was doing it. I was getting the cassettes out there to make sure that people were rinsing out the cassettes. The taxi man them was running it. The record stores were playing it. Yep. The barbershop, the beauty shop, the bakeries, the restaurants, anywhere people were gathering. I was there giving them the cassettes to let them know, that you would going to be a big star, or, push the tune for me or whatever. It's what we did. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but that's
no. I mean, don't worry. I'll win you back in, but you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. We want to make sure that people understand that there's so many levels to this. And because a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of levels and how you're able to do so many things. Some we made money from, some we did for the love, but we made sure that we did the best we can do.
We did. And as a team too. Because I remember many a night, Simon, when you and I were co-emceeing.
Oh gosh.
But I was also collecting the money for George.
Yes.
And I was also doing the part that and I would have to go collect the money, come backstage, make sure George get the money because we have to pay the artist them, get dressed. Simon is out there, and then I'm running on, all dressed, yes, and people don't know.
Nobody knows what's going on and the hell that's going on. I mean, even when we used to do the Guinness Reggae Carafest.
Oh gosh, Can we talk about
You remember when they threw the bottles at me and I wouldn't leave that stage? People care. I would not leave that stage because I loved them so much, and I was rolling around and doing flips, and everybody put down the bottles and started laughing.
Man, Simon.
And Lady Saw called me the bottle man. But you know, that's dedication. That's dedication. That's dedication. It's all about dedication. Because that show could have been destroyed because Spraga was the biggest thing. Spraga was the biggest thing then, and we had to bring on Uncle Barris and Bojo.
Yeah, you look at those, like we didn't have and those things are on video. Somebody has them on video. Said the hell happening backstage.
Hell was happening backstage.
And nobody, you never knew, because we would come on stage. I would come on, introduce somebody, step off, and it's like, and then right back, and we're back on, and nobody don't know what was going on, but we were getting it done.
Yes. Big up to Peter Campbell and all of them from
Peter, you remember them walking out with Peter equipment, just you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, God have mercy. It was so much. So you know, but let's keep it going because you've done so much. So tell some about. Let's go down another route, because you've been a journalist and a publicist, and I want you to, and of course a community activist. What was so important about being part of the activism in our community back in the day, and how it important, because you had a lot of also historical mentors and mentees back in the day.
Well, you answered the question for me, because that's what I was going to say. I can't help being who I am because of those who mentored me.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't help. Big up to my brother Desmond, who is listening, and my sister-in-law. But my brother Desmond, my little brother Desmond, can attest to this. I was raised up by some folk. You know, I can tell you that when Omar was a little baby, well, you know, Dr. Clark was one of my teachers, and Dr. Prince was one of my teachers, and Dr. Jeffries was one of my teachers.
That's right.
And I couldn't be anything but. I mean, for those who don't know, I taught Black history at Baruch College.
That's right.
As an adjunct, and should have, you know, Dr. Wilson, may his soul rest in peace.
May he rest in peace, yes.
Yeah, would have, you know, he begged me so much to teach, because he's like, Sharon, you're such a natural, you know the history, you know, you've been in struggle, and you have
Amos Wilson, please say Amos Wilson.
Dr. Amos Wilson.
Please say his first name so people know.
So, you know, I've had a lot of mentoring from movers and shakers. I used to take Omar as a baby to the slave theater.
Slave theater with automatics and
with
the whole
all of them. Omar used to go on summer camps with Dr. Maddox and his wife.
Maddox and Leola.
They used to take the boys up to is it Peg Leg Bates? I think it was called
the historical one owned by Black folks. Yes, by Black folks up there. Yes.
And so I couldn't help but, you know, be about this culture. I growing up as a child, where my mother had her factory. My mother had a factory. She was a seamstress. We had a business, and it was right up the road from where Bob and them had their little record store, and it was on Beeston Street between Matthews Lane and Orange Street. So if you know anything about Kingston, that's the heart of it. You know, Techniques is right up there. So Beverly's is right there. So everything is right there. So Shim's, everybody knows Shim's syrup factory is right there. Yeah. But the point is, that was where I was bubbling. And then I'm with Miss Lou, and we're at Ward Theater, and I'm at Ward Theater, but I'm there with the children watching those who are pioneering this cultural activism work through theater, right? Through the arts. This is what we're, Leonie Forbes, I can't leave out people like that. So we are being taught this, and then I come to America and I fall into the same milieu. I'm in the same space. I'm in Brooklyn at a time when this activism is what was really pushing the community forward. And I just happen to have been, and that's why for me, Simon, like you, I'm at home with my African American friends as I am with my Caribbean friends because I grew up here. You see, and that's why I was able to go in and out. I say to people all the time that when I saw how non-Jamaicans loved my culture, I always knew it was special. But when I saw how non-Jamaicans loved this culture and wanted to understand the history of it, when I would drop dimes on them, like, you know, that was Marcus Garvey who said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, number ourselves. Right. And it was Bob who sang that. It'd be like, oh, Sharon, you just know everything. No, I didn't know everything. I was around people who knew a lot.
Exactly.
And I had to read, and I had to That's another thing people don't know, that we had homework that we had to do.
Yes.
Our mentors were not mentoring us to just be cute and take photos. You had work you had to do.
That's right. That's right.
We had work we had to do. We had to study. We had to research. We had to this day, I just read everything, Simon. I can't help but being who I am and that's why I know a lot, because I read a lot, and I don't know everything, but I do know a lot because I read a lot. I consume information.
You got to read it.
Know. I always want to, because I'm always asking why. Why is a thing a certain way? How does it work? What makes it work? Why can't it be done that? And that's the thing that got me to where I am too. I've always said, well, why can't it be done this other way? Have you ever tried doing it this other way? And that's how, big up to my family watching. I want to say big up to my producer, okay? Big up to my producer who's making sure I have water.
Big up to him. And I also see Copeland Forbes on Facebook. He's checking it. Yeah, he's watching us on Facebook. Big up to Copeland. He's up at 8 o'clock, family. So
I'll be watching Copeland. Speaking of Copeland, can I talk about Copeland? You know, people, I know we're jumping around. And we got to talk about but me on stage, people see me on stage, Shaman. I've been on stage since I was a little girl. People need to know that. I've always performed.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, but I have to tell a story about Copeland, and I hope Copeland appreciates this story.
Yes.
So, Simon, I'm going to take you back to a show at the Beacon Theater.
Oh, Lord.
With Luciano. Like, people don't know, right? Like, people see Luciano and Buju and Anthony B. You can't call them artists' name and don't call my name. And you can't call them artists. No, this is real. I'm not being. Simon will tell you. I mean, it's real. So Simon, check this. Remember that show when Luciano cut his foot and then we had to bring him back? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, at the time I said to Ian and Gary and them, the Powells, let's get Luciano to record a message saying he injured himself, but he will be back. Simon, remember you was on radio, you played the clip for us, that he would be there for the Beacon Theater for the show.
That's right.
And it was big. First time. That's how anyway, pioneering work. So this is the night of the show now. Now, them days, like I told you, family, I'm the publicist. I'm the this, I'm the that, I'm the that. But it used to get on people's nerves that I was all of this. Can't help it. But there were people fighting to be the MC.
Yes.
Hopefully is probably laughing by now.
Yes.
And Luciano was the biggest thing. But there was this man called Fatis who was like an uncle to me.
Burrell. That's right. That's right.
All right, y'all. I'm name dropping now.
That's right.
And there are people who are fighting. I don't want to call all these DJs' name, who were fighting who was going to introduce Luciano. And they're standing to the side of the stage, Simon.
And guess who gets up there?
And guess what? Guess what happens? I know Copeland is smiling now. Because Copeland just happened to be there that night. He wasn't working.
No, he wasn't working. He was one of the
to make sure everything is running right.
Right. He was there.
Fatis turns around and hands me the mic and pushes me on the stage to go introduce Luciano. And I'm shaking because all the people who are fighting of who will introduce Lucy, them are going to kill me when them hear me on the stage. And I'm introducing Luciano and I'm looking to the side of me. And when they hear me, they're all looking like, what? How she get out there? And when I come back off, Copeland is standing right there to me. And he says, and when you go back out now, you outro him and intro. You don't worry yourself. Don't pay them no mind. You just stay focused. And Copeland, you remember that? And I know Fatis don't even break her. Fatis just stand up so.
Fatis was a nice guy, man. He treated me so well.
Point is, if you are doing what you're doing, those who recognize the work that you're doing will reward you for that work. And
see, Copeland's watching the show.
Yes, Copeland, I am gonna be tuning in. But and then what Copeland would do going from that is he told me that I was a good mistress of sermon.
Yes, he was.
And he would always give me little. We would meet all over, and Copeland would always put a nugget in my ear. To this day, when I'm doing run of shows. Yes. And I'll say to people, you got to do an intro and an outro. Outro. Copeland Forbes.
That's
Copeland
right.
Forbes
That's
taught
right.
me that.
That's right.
I can put it out there. He told me that, Sharon, you always intro the artist and outro the artist and set up the audience for the next person that's coming up. People just don't be on stage talking about yourself. That's another thing I don't do. You never see me on stage talking about myself. Copeland Forbes taught me that. Get on there, introduce the artist, and get off. Do what you gotta do and get off. So big up to Mr. Copeland Forbes.
All the time. Big up. He'll be on like family. Copeland said, yes, for sure. Yes, that's what he says. Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, Copeland was definitely
he would push me. And when I was doing all that I was doing, because that was another thing that I want young people listening to understand, that when we were doing what we were doing, we were young people. But suddenly we loved what we were doing, and we were doing it all. We really were doing it all. I did so much. It used to make. So there was a time when I used to have to dumb myself down, dim my shine, because so many egos were around me. There is somebody who told me I am not an MC, and I should not have been on that stage. And they were very upset. I love him dearly, it's my friend, but he told me that. What? And now I look, every time I get on stage, I laugh because I'm most comfortable in front of a camera. Everybody knows that.
In front of it. Yeah. Yes.
I've been that way since I was a little girl. So people want you to dim your shine because they figure that if they dim your shine, then they're going to shine. No, baby. When I shine, you shine too.
You shine. That's right.
I'm here to shine. It's time, and those days when we were out there getting it done. Any artist coming through New York came through us. We were involved in some way, fashion, or form. Or there's a crew of us. Somewhere, and shout out to George Crooks, right? Yes. Shout out to George Crooks. Shout out to Lorraine, who I met in college.
Yeah.
I used to teach Lorraine dance.
That's right.
I used to teach dance.
That's
Somebody sent me a note yesterday and say, is there anything you don't do?
People always ask that question. That's one thing.
I don't know, because I do everything I can. CJ said she remember that day.
Of course you remember. You got to remember them day, because them day was some real. I mean, a lot of people don't even understand the depth of it. And I know we can't go through it. We only have a limited amount of time, family. But, Sharon has been a staple in our community, even behind the scenes, and sometimes had to be in front of the scenes as a male-dominant industry.
In a very and Simon, I remember when Mr. Bailey, and I have to go to Gil Bailey, right? So Gil Bailey and his wife, Pat Bailey. Pat Bailey called me. I got to shout out some people right now. I got to shout out Gaddafi.
Yes.
Gaddafi,
yes.
Right?
Good people.
The Haitian, World of Girls, all of that, right? And I was working with Gaddafi and them at the time, doing some publicity work for them. And I was there when Miss Bailey called me, because she called the house, and then they told them I was over there, and she called and she said, Mr. Bailey and I want to have a meeting with you. And from that was it. That's how I got on radio. Mr. Bailey pulled me on radio and taught me now another set of skill sets, how to go out there and hustle to sell ads. So you can cover your segment. Hey, Miss Elaine, right? So how you can cover your segment, because that's what we used to do, Simon. Hello, clear and throat, remember?
That's right.
So I would go to the bakery on, like, whether it's, what's the bakery? Oh, gosh.
Well, not Conrad.
On Utica Avenue. Not
Conrad.
Not Conrad, but the Jamaican spot.
Oh, you're talking about...
Oh, God, it just came out my head. And then they opened up one on Church Avenue. Okay, they'll come back. I would go up there and I would do a little broadcast. You know, you call it on the phone. Hi, it's Sharon Gordon, and I'm at such and such bakery. And today, they have a special, and Make sure you come down to Christmas. Christmas cakes are only gonna last till . And this segment has been brought to you. And then I do a little read of the news because I was writing for the Glean. I was writing for Caribbean Life. I was doing all of that. So I would have the hard news. So I would take the hard news, put a little hard news in there. Then I would throw in a little entertainment. And tonight, Simon Templar, Gig Young. That's the
Gig
baby.
Young, Gig Young.
Right? My brethren.
After the Cox, go on.
Bully Cox, man. I love, by the way, I love that brother. Love him. So we would go up to Gig Young or wherever, Simon, and then I would have to jump in my car and drive to the next place and be there so that when Mr. Bailey go to the next break and he would say to me, you collect your money? I said, yes, Mr. Bailey. I said, don't leave there. Don't come on here until you collect your money, you know. I learned to do that. So I would get to the place, collect the money, wait now. Then when listening to the program in the car, then run inside now, and then get on the phone and call Mr. Bailey, doing it all over again.
Right.
Drive to and this was Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens on a Saturday. You never know where I would end up. When he used to be on air on Friday nights, we used to have to be up there with him into the overnight and then go. So people don't know, you know, when we didn't sleep for weekends. You know why I go to my bed early now, Simon? I say this all the time and friends laugh. I go to bed early now because there was a time in my life when I never went to bed till the morning.
Exactly.
I say that to people all the time. Simon, you talk for years. We never went to bed. Oh, Copeland said, don't forget the coalition to preserve
CPR, man, CPR.
Simon. And you know something, could I tell you something about even CPR when it came on, right?
Right.
You all noticed the amount of people who I went to certain artists at the time to look for their endorsements to say, listen, we have to see this music and put it in perspective. Copeland supported us with this.
I was there at the first press party when y'all did it.
He was right there.
Panel
You remember that?
Yeah, I was there for the panel. I spoke.
You spoke because you saw the vision. Simon, but when were you never not there though, Simon?
When I decided to leave the business, Lord.
There you go. Well, hello, somebody. I'm over here. Hello. But when we did Coalition to Preserve Reggae, you know how much fight I got for that? You know how many artists I went to and asked for their support? They said, welcome to reggae. After nothing wrong with reggae. What I do? Nothing wrong with that. When I started having community conversation series, and I said, Simon, could dancehall be the ruination of reggae and by extension the Jamaica brand? In 2009, they ostracized me. Tell me some me lyrics police and me this and that. Where are we now? I kept telling them, you can't feed people a diet of decadence and vulgarity.
That's right.
And expect them to turn out to be what?
I remember I'm in Jamaica and I had a meeting, me and I forgot who, I think Bunny Lee or somebody. We was at Gussie Clark's place. And he was trying to form a coalition also.
Yeah.
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica. We went to Jamaica a couple of times. And again, only certain people saw it. And I'm going to say this out there now, and anybody can take this piece. What I'm about to say, I'm saying it right now. It's something I don't even talk about.
You say what you mean and mean what you say. Go ahead.
I'm about to drop something on y'all right now.
Drop the tea. Spill it.
There's an artist that has a wonderful event that has become an anchor annual event in Jamaica. It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
And it's my brethren because I helped at the time I was there too when his
Rebel
launched. And he was there when I had my first reggae culture salute at the Roxy in 2005. With Morgan Heritage, Third World, and Luciano.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeanette. Big up to Tilden High School. Love you, Jeanette. And this artist was there because Tempo TV had just started. And the girl, Janelle, and them were all there filming. Because, Simon, you know how it was back in the day. And this artist who I consider to be my brother, because, you know, only the people you love and the people who are close to you hurt you in this kind of way. And this person, I was there when this person was starting their show because I had gone to Jamaica. I was writing for Vibe magazine when the great Garnet Silk died. I was on my way to Jamaica to write about Garnet. It's called Reggae Rasta Revival. Go look it up. It's in Vibe. And I was on my way to Jamaica. It was Christmas time to write about Garnet Silk, Buju Banton, Tony Rebel, Angie Angel, Daddy Uroy, Capleton, and the shift, because Capleton did stop sing "Oh man, my poem in a lotion, man."
Yes, I was in back of that.
Side Rasta. Budget stopped singing when was singing and was citing Rasta till Shallow, the album that I gave my heart, put so much work into. Big up Lisa Cortez and my dear sister friend who was passed on, Leslie Pitts.
Yeah.
Right. But there was that shift that was happening in the music, and I was going down to write about this for Vibe magazine. Big up Rob Kenner. Right?
Rob, yes. As a matter of fact, Rob Kenner is in Copeland's book.
Of course,
very interesting. Yes, he wrote a forward. I think he wrote the forward.
Yeah, Rob is Rob, right?
Rob, yes.
And I'm getting ready to go to Jamaica, and so while I'm in Jamaica, I'm spending that time, that December, with my brethren Tony Rebel.
Yes,
that's the year Garnet was, Garnet died in that terrible, him and his mom, and the whole notion of this event that was birthed, right, came about. Rebel Salute. Fast forward many, many years. Rebel was at my first reggae culture salute here in New York in 2005.
Right.
Fast forward many years, because Lucy was calling him on stage that night and he didn't come on stage, but he was in the audience because he was interviewed by Janelle and he was there to support.
Right.
Fast forward many years, I am here and I get a phone call from someone in Jamaica say, "Oh my God, Sharon, I didn't know that you and Rebel and them were working together." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "I just saw the promo for Rebel Salute and it says the preservation of reggae music." I said, "What?"
Let's take the name. Lord,
I'm sitting there waiting for my brethren, and this ain't no diss. I'm just speaking truth. And this is what I'm going to start doing. I need to start dropping facts on people, because some people out here, I've just walked away from a lot of things and just said, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just dropping facts. So this is not to be, I'm just spilling a little tea. Because my brethren.
Yes.
I'm waiting for my brethren now to call me and say, "My girl, may I take your name, may I put it on the thing as a slogan, and may I go big up a car. I see the work where you and Carlisle are do with CPR, because that was the acronym, blah, blah, blah." I'm still waiting. I try to reach out to my brethren. At the time, it was him and the sister, Africa, that was together.
Right.
I'm still waiting. I am still waiting for Tony Rebel, my brethren, to say to people, I was so inspired by the work that my little sister, Sharon Gordon, who has been influential in my career, I'm so impressed with the work and the vision she had that I have decided to pool resources with them. And I've even borrowed that which she conjured, the importance of the preservation of reggae music, and applied it as the slogan to my event that was already in 20th year, whatever. Right?
That's right.
I'm still waiting. It never happened. It's as if it just fell out like manna out of the sky. And part of the problem we have in this industry, and I know Copeland would talk about this later, is there's a lot of broken spirits out here. A lot of people walk away from this industry broken because people don't big up each other. We don't support each other. We rip and run off rather than give credit where credit is due. Because can you imagine if Rebel had just said, "Man, I'm going to big up my sister and Sharon Gordon of the world."
That's all he had to do.
That's all it took. That's all it took. But you don't do that. And you're my brethren and see me all the time smiling, but you don't talk about it. And every time I say we need to talk, it's no big deal. I wish you nothing but best and beautiful, because imitation is the best form of flattery. I can tell you enough teas like that. I can tell you enough stories like that. People who I have given advice to, came to me for advice that I've given, and they've taken it, run with it, and forget that it's Sharon. And I'm waiting, going, huh? And then I hear them picking up, well, when I spoke to Simon Templar, and I'm like, Simon, yes, I mean, no, what, huh? So many of those stories. And so Simon,
I know.
Copeland, I know what I'm saying is something Copeland will resonate with Copeland, is that
that's right.
We don't give each other credit, and we're not supportive. We tear down. And I know it's part of the legacy of slavery, but we really got to do better than that with each other. Because look at me and you, Simon. We have always collaborated. We don't understand about collaboration. We tear down. And I've always been about collaboration.
That's
I've
right.
had people say, I've had people accuse me to others of being too enough. When somebody says to them, well, why you don't like Sharon? She's so talented. She too enough. What does that mean? She too enough.
Exactly. What does that mean?
I am blessed from Almighty God with all the gifts that I got. Instead of celebrating me for that, I'm too enough, and you speak bad about me. Where has it gotten you, by the way? Hello, somebody. Have you seen me lately, Simon? 61.
Yeah, you're looking good. Yeah, man.
61, boo-boo. Happy love, beautiful grandbabies. 61, boo-boo. Not a wrinkle. You're looking good.
When I call Sharon, she headed to the massage parlor.
Heading to my, you know, I live for self-care. I'm not doing my Pilates. I'm doing my massage. I'm in the gym. I'm getting
all of that. And you know, Sharon,
my love, you know, life is good.
Oh, Sharon, hold on one second before we finish, because I know I can't keep you on that. I want to make sure we
got nothing yet.
We can talk forever, but y'all gotta look out for her new book.
Oh,
because
God,
she is writing her book, and it has to be a spill the tea on reggae. Reggae tea spiller, because we use herbal tea on this one. That's Cersei, and we use Cersei tea of it spill. So, you know, before we finish, hey, people said they're listening from Canada. Yes, listening from Canada, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine and my Canada family.
Family. And if you got to contact her, you can hit her up at IG on the DM, or you can hit her up by the email if you have any words that you want to clarify and verify, so we can solidify what's going on.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I know you're here for it. You're here for it.
I am a walking encyclopedia. Simon, somebody just texted me and said, you and Simon need to do a whole show of you spilling tea, because I know all the tea and you ain't even, she said, and you ain't even spilled nothing yet.
Look, I'm not even spilling tea. That's how deep it gets. I keep to myself. After I left the business, after going through what I went through with SOBs, Junior, and I just leave everybody alone, you know, and I just do. And, you know, who have shown me the most respect in the business of what I've done is the Dr. Sabi, the Dr. Africa, the Queen of Fools. That's the ones I went to go. And after Trevor Sparks died for diabetes, and Frankie Paul died for diabetes, and Augustus Pablo died, I said, I got to take care of my health. My lungs was getting destroyed in the club because of smoke inhalation. And I got a iridology reading with Dr. Africa and Anuket, and they say, yo, if you don't stop that, you're gonna kill yourself. And you know who Sharon, you know who took me to their house to stay at least a month? Dr. Laila Africa, the writer of African Holistic Health, because him and his wife seen me.
Dr. Africa.
Yeah, him and his wife seen it in my eyes just by doing iridology and seeing my lungs was collapsing and all that. I had to stop.
Simon,
when I was stressing. I told Junior this, and Junior in temptation, I don't know. So I'm saying, you know what? I gotta go. I'm not doing this club thing and this stuff for y'all no more. I'm done. I gotta go and save my life.
Right. Self-preservation
is
that's the same reason why I have taken, you know, I went black, you know, I ran away, I walked away from it all. CPR, the Gleaner, you know, I walked away from, I literally did what we did. I had to save myself because after a while, you know, I'm like, I'm giving this culture and this so much, and what am I getting back? So I said, you know, I got skills. I got so many skills. I want to shout out my brethren, Ron Elliott. I'm making movies with Ron Elliott.
Big up to Ron Elliott. Yes.
I am making movies with Ron. Go see me in the movies. You understand what I'm saying, Jude?
Right.
I am out here writing books and poetry and being the most sought after mistress of ceremonies. I'm a hellified producer. I am sitting on so many boards helping people produce, and shout out to NB Pack, NJ Pack, all of them. I mean, there's so much that I am doing that is away from the what would we call that, Simon? The stench.
Oh God!
That just really just
wrapped around the gully stench. Our gully stench. That
gully stench.
Gully stench.
I just like you. I had to save myself for myself, and in doing that, You said to me, Sharon, you got to come on and do an interview
That's
because
right.
people don't know half of what you have done. They think they know you. They don't have a clue.
That's
And
right.
I am happy to know that when I see people now being publicists for record labels and doing this and charting the course for so many young new artists, I'm happy for them. But
That's
part
right.
of what we don't do is we don't connect the dots. We do not go back and pay homage to those who were before us. I am constantly paying homage to those before because,
Me too.
Simon, you and I know the shoulders that we stand on.
That's it,
When
that's
we
it.
were out here and nobody wanted to hear this music, nobody
Exactly.
cared about this culture, we were out
Exactly.
here pioneering. And that's why I say big up to Gil Bailey all the time. And
All
it's
the
why
time.
Pat Bailey, we have to give them their due because they
right.
charted a course. There would have been no Ken Miller, no, I can call all the names.
Clinton, Clive.
None of them, if those folks did not do what they did. And so we must understand that there are many people who are unsung heroes and
Yes.
sheroes, and they need to be recognized for this. Another thing that is a first, Simon, you know, I was the first ones to start giving congressional awards to our artists and start recognizing artists at the Coalition to Preserve Reggae events that I was doing.
That's
and
right.
I see people now acting like, I am glad that you are doing it, but can you just give a little credit where it's due?
And you know, Sharon, you know who don't get another woman that didn't get the knowledge? You remember Pierre?
Love you. Oh, that's my girl. What do you mean?
When she transitioned, helping with the Grammys, helping us to get on the Grammys.
But Pele, love you, Sharon. Love you, Sharon. That's my sister. Listen, love you, Sharon, Rosalie Gordon. Mwah.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. That's one of my dance. That's one of I told you from my first dance group. She's
yes,
right
yes.
there. Listen, Pele, my sister.
Pele. Pierre, yes.
May her soul rest in peace.
May she rest
Pele
in peace.
is the reason we have a Jamaica stand at Midem. Okay?
Yep.
Pele is the reason Muta Baruka has a career, Burning Spear has a career. Should I start going?
Yeah, man. And nobody, and that beautiful
Haitian. Acknowledging Pele? I do. I got to acknowledge Dub Missive magazine while I'm here talking. Last Adams, you know, I was a writer for Dub Missive for many years, and I would write about a lot of my stories, and a lot of the contacts I got was from people like Pele, who would say to me, Sharon, such and such is getting ready to do an album, cover it, because that's what I used to do. So, you know, it's not just the Vibe magazine. Yes, I did a lot with Vibe, but I did more with Dub Missive. I did more with Dub Missive than I could ever do with a Vibe, because Dub Missive was ours. Last trainer was a Yardie. That was him, you know. So Pele and people like that need, Vonnie McGowan, people like that need to get recognized. And so you young girls out here now and boys who are running around on the internet thinking that you have arrived, do me a favor, take your time with yourself, please, and go acknowledge those who set it up so you have a highway on which you can drive now, because it wasn't a highway when we was out there, it was bush, and we had to clear the path. And we're happy to see where things are. I am ecstatic. I love when I run into people, Simon, and they say, oh, Miss Sharon, I used to come to this, or I used to listen, or da. You know how that makes me feel? Or Simon, when their children, when they introduce, I know you go through this, when they introduce you to their children.
Yes. Yep. You'd be surprised who. I remember, man, I remember being on the train, and a little boy came up to me and said, I seen you on B-Cat singing Black and White Story.
Look at that. Oh, y'all know Simon is an artist, right? Oh, y'all don't know that. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't know
Back in the day.
No. Y'all don't know.
Big up to the late producer Clive Hudson. He was my producer, and of course Jammies, King Jammies was one of my producers. So, you know, and Johnny Wonder, you remember the Italian Johnny Wonder, Big Mouth, Johnny Wonder.
You know, we shout out, folks. Shout out to Don Juan Studio. Don
Juan, big up to Don Juan and his wife, Miss Moody's.
I mean, there's so many people on whose shoulders we stand.
My gosh.
Could not have gotten to where we are.
Well, you know, Sharon,
this generation doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
When I look at what's happening with the music, for example, someone sent something recently, and I know we're wrapping up, but this is a good.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going on with California reggae, for example?
Yes. Right? Oh gosh.
See, when I warned them, and I said you must take ownership and set the thing in such a way that it's yours, and we're sharing, because reggae is Jamaica's gift to the world, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. Reggae and Rasta keeps on giving, right? But if you don't embrace what is yours, and you don't take ownership of what is yours, then whosoever will make come, and brother will just come and take what they want from it. That's what happened. That's what happened. And so I say, good luck to all of you. Be well. I'm over here, in the next phase of my life, being wonderful. But I will write about it's a lot. It's been almost I have been doing this all my life. Like Sharon Gordon, you see there, who is on, will tell you, I have been this way since I was forever, 3 years old. And I am not intending to change. All I'm doing is morphing into this new and improved Sharon. I have granddaughters that I gotta be around to tell stories to, and to build them up and let them know the strong culture that they have and the role that I played in this phase of it here in the New York diaspora and in England, because did my bit there too. But Simon, you and I and Kafunya and all of us, we are the Black survivors, we really are. And all of us have gone on doing other things, still loving what we do, but realizing to save ourselves, we had to move into and expand, our gifts into other realms. And I think that it's for the best. I really do. I really do. Because I look at you now. And I
still smiling. With smile.
We're never gonna stop smiling, Simon. How could we ever stop smiling, Simon? When what we do is the joy is within us, Simon. The joy is within us. We stand on solid foundation, and the joy, ain't nobody taking our joy away from us.
That's right. Sharon, man, this has been a wonderful journey down memory lane. Of course, I don't want you to be no stranger, because you're not, because you'll call me all late at night to tell me what you got in your head. What's the next thing in your head? Because
the thing I just shared is what I'm
something stimulating in you right now. Something is stimulating to come out, but don't talk about it yet, because we want to bless it. We don't want to mess it.
Right, we want to bless it. We don't want to mess it, and I'm gonna bless it. I thank you for that, Simon, and I am working on it. It is bubbling. You have stimulated me tremendously this week in planning some nuggets and kind of just.
And what I want you to do, Sharon, watch this over, because it's going to keep on stimulating all of this, because sometimes that's what it takes. I tell people, my first book.
Show them. Remember when you write it.
My first book, Sharon's name in it, George's name in it, everybody name in it to know. Because hold on, because this was no promotion is bad promotion, and all publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. Everybody naming out his book, and y'all don't even know a lot of people don't even know I shouted him out in this. And no promotion is bad promotion came from the late great Frankie Crocker.
Frankie Crocker.
That was his slogan back in the day. He said it on it, and I took it and I put his picture in there. And let me tell you something, family. This book was recorded. Part of it was recorded first and then transcribed, and then it triggered everything for me to write all night and keep on writing. And so I can't wait to see what Sharon has, because I'm really loving what Copeland did.
Copeland, big up yourself, Copeland.
Oh my goodness, what a good book.
Copeland, I've been watching the interview tonight. Copeland, I can't wait to get in the book. I know when Copeland, kind of like how me and you is right now, Simon, with my book. Oh yeah. Copeland was telling me about his writing that book from them time.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I just can't wait. Copeland, thank you for all that you have done, Copeland. Bless your heart.
Yes, and bless your heart, and give Omar and your grandchildren a big old hug for me, man. And thank you so much for blessing my platform for the first time. It's gonna be Copeland's first time too, later on tonight. So it's gonna be, me and you was on other radio stations at WNWK doing different things at WWRL.
Let me just drop something.
Go ahead.
When we need to let people know this, right?
Yes.
When I was long before everybody doing, their connections now with Simon, you remember that I was doing my connections with Crucial Robbie in London?
Mm-hmm. Crucial Robbie. Big
and
up to
then with
Robbie.
Andy Greaves, long time we were doing these things, right? I landed in Luton. I was like a celebrity because people were listening to me for years on the radio there, and I'm like, what?
Yep.
Now they just take these things for granted because we're on YouTube and we're on internet. But those were the days. Big up Andy Greaves, big up Crucial Robbie, and all of them.
Big up to
London Massive and the Luton Massive and the Birmingham Massive.
See, somebody asked him what time tonight. Oh, Copeland will be on at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Those are asking about Copeland.
Not dinner, and I will be sitting there waiting because that's going to be a conversation, right?
Oh my gosh! After what I read, oh my gosh! I read the book.
Copeland got it. Copeland got it. That's the holy grail right there.
Yes, he's definitely. His mind is definitely. And I'm like, how you remember all this? But it does trigger. That's why when you start writing it out, you're gonna see it start triggering all the memories. Some of it you're gonna cry about. Some of it you're gonna laugh about. Some of it, I'm telling you, with your writing and because he brought me back into something, and I was like, oh wow, man, especially about Gregory and Dennis and. Just trying to touch
in those shows, right?
Exactly.
Gregory and Dennis.
So, and all that. And we was like, yo, because we didn't know whether they was gonna show up or not, and people
don't know. They don't know, Hope. They don't know, Simon. We got stories. They, like I said, I'm on stage, you in the back, and then we running back out. Them reach it. Put on so move that. Put on. Make the DJ play. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
We do what we do. I thank you, Simon.
I thank you. Thank you. And thank you, beloved, for helping out with the camera, setting up the background, and helping us out.
Thanks to my producer.
Yeah, your producer. Yes, that big up to him all the time.
That it all worked out for me.
It all worked out well.
And
Sharon,
thanks to everybody who logged on, Simon.
Yes.
Thank them. Because you got this big following and everything.
Oh yeah, they ain't finished yet because they're gonna be watching continuously. This is gonna be everybody gonna be a lot. It's gonna go up. It's gonna go up big. So, and I'm gonna take certain clips and put it on shorts and everything. So I'm gonna clip it up. I'm gonna clip it up. You know. Hey,
thank you.
I love you, Sharon. And there's nothing nobody can do about it.
I know ain't nothing you can do about it.
Nobody can do.
Omar would love to hear us saying that. God bless. We didn't even talk about WBAI and Midnight Ravens. Shout out to my WBAI family and the Midnight Ravens family. It's too much time, but like we said,
WPAT,
WNWKs,
WHIV.
It's too much. I can't. It's whoa.
I mean, even the B-Cat television shows, all of those.
No,
big up to Earl Chin too. Earl Chin was also.
Can we big up Earl Chin, Chris Smith? I mean,
all of them. Everybody.
Chris Smith.
Chip, my brother-in-law, and my cousin-in-law. Big up to him and Trudy that they did, and Gregory Winters and everybody involved. And of course you got to big up What's Up TV, and of course. What was Ian's television show after that?
Zinc
TV with my boy there. Yeah, Zinc TV.
Yeah, Rich and Ian.
I ran into Rich the other day at the juice bar over there on Utica and Mayfield. I ran into Rich while I was out of town, while I was in New York. Because I live in Georgia now. So big up to Rob Ken. Of course, we shouted out Rob.
Yes, big up Rob. Big up Rob. Love Rob. You know, Rob and I share the same birthday. Different years, same birthday.
Oh, they born on October 8th, October 19th?
October 27th.
Right. You October 27th. You and I'm thinking about CJ. CJ is October 19th or something like that.
Yes, you got CJ. She and Peter Tosh is the same.
Yeah, the same birthday. You know, me love CJ, man. Forever.
Of course.
How the daughters doing?
They're beautiful. Oh, you haven't seen my nieces?
I haven't seen them in years.
Dears. They are so beautiful.
Oh man, they look just like
the
Ian.
last
right?
one is in college. Everybody else graduate. Chrissy is the only one in college now. Yep.
Oh my gosh, everybody grow up and we can't see them.
Omar is a father of 2. What you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
You got 13 grandbabies.
I got 13 grandchildren.
I know you.
I got 13 grandchildren.
And you got 13. So folks need to understand the kind of years we're talking about. But let me just say to folks,
yes,
we have a movie that's getting ready to come out.
Yes, please.
And when it does, I'm gonna come back with Simon, and I'm gonna bring Ron on. In the meantime, you can look for Dope King, you can look for Dope Fiend, and you can look for Respect the Jukes. You know, just to see a little something. And I'm gonna be back up here with Simon, and we love you, King Simon. And shout out to your family as well and everyone. And I'm going to be on at 8 o'clock tonight watching.
Yes.
This is just a little sneak peek.
And at the end of the month, the last Wednesday of the month, I have Paul Campbell coming on with me.
You know that's my brethren, right?
I know that's your brethren, right?
Me and Paul go up to, please.
We do already. We do already. So everybody got to subscribe to my show because I got Paul Campbell coming in at the end because he's doing art in Florida, and I'm going to be he was at Art Basel, and I'm going to be over there checking out his new artwork and all that kind of stuff.
Paul
and I can't wait. And big up to your uncle, of course, Barris. He just had a big honorary doctorate.
Yes,
big up to him, and big up to your cousin, the one, the only Cool Herc, who just got honored at the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So
no, the family line stay away, man.
They'll stay away. I do them thing, respect. All right, Sharon, I love you, man, and there's nothing no one can do about it. Oh man,
thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Peace and love. Peace and love. That's right. That's our great Sharon Gordon, man. Woo, Lord, that was good. Let's give that a round of applause again. I can't tell you. Thank y'all very much, man. Yes, Paul Campbell will be with us on, where's my calendar? I think on the last Wednesday of this month, before the New Year's come in, Paul Campbell will be with us right here on King Simon Presents Only Quality People on YouTube. Also, we're broadcasting also on Facebook at King Simon and also King Simon Productions on Facebook. Remember, tonight we have the legend himself, another legend in this business. We have the legendary Copeland Forbes coming in tonight. Let me remove this out of the front there because I have that. We have the legendary Copeland Forbes tonight. If you do want to contact him, hit him up at Kamar Reggae Ltd at gmail.com or Skype, Mr. Reggae Man. That's his contact. But we're going to have the great Copeland Forbes on tonight. We're going to be speaking about it and talking about the new book. Y'all, I got the new book. I've been reading it every night. Lord have mercy. The book, nice, and the storylines and his commentary, very, very elegant, very nice, very well put, very easy, a very good, easy read. A lot of pictures in there. Dennis Brown, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Luciano, Fela Kuti, a whole lot of people is on there, man. I mean, the stuff that he went through in Africa, we're going to talk about that. The stuff that he went through with Luciano, the stuff that we went through with Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, it's all in the book. It's all in the book. I'm telling you. Reggae My Life Is. And a lot of people don't know I have a signed copy. He bigged up Don Taylor. Don Taylor gave me a signed copy of his book, Marley and Me, Marley, Me and I, or something like that, Marley and Me. So I got Don Taylor's book, a signed copy, and I have a signed copy of Gil Scott-Heron's book, Vulture, and The Negro Factory. He signed both of them for me at SOBs years ago. He signed both of them at SOBs years ago. Gil Scott-Heron. All right, so y'all know I ain't no joke. I ain't no joke with signed copies. Oh man, I got Rita Marley's book. Of course, No Woman, No Cry. I got a lot. I got Kamani Marley's book. I got all of that too. So signed copy of Kamani Marley's book because Farrah Gray, Dr. Farrah Gray was the publisher of that book. And Dr. Farrah Gray, if you don't know who he is, that's Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad's son, Dr. Farrah Gray. So it's a lot going on, man, that I'm going, and I've had him on. I've had Farrah Gray on my show, so I've had him on. So, but tonight, here it is. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and circulate and donate to the channel. Do remember, every Tuesday, I do an open line where people can come on and talk to me as I break down the numbers, because people know that I study numerology and breakdown, and numerology is an ancient African science before Pythagoras, because Pythagoras went amongst the Kemetic, the Egyptian people, the black Chaldeans, and studied numerology and studied numbers and patterns and brought it to the Greek society and then called himself the father of numbers. And then this coming Wednesday on the 13th, we have the great Samuel F. Reynolds, From Skeptic to Believer, a personal journey in discovering the transformative powers of astrology. I'm going to have him on Wednesday. The sister here, she's from Toronto via Jamaica. Her name is Carrie Ann Ingram. She's my co-host on Wednesdays. And if you're in Brooklyn, make sure you go to Nicholas Brooklyn. Kafunya is right there on the top. Sister Kafunya, Kaba Hayawata. My boy Adinka Butler, his father was big in the reggae business. This is Wayne Chandler. He's going to be at Nicholas Brooklyn showing people Qigong and Tai Chi and all the good stuff that y'all need to maintain your health. He still look like that, to tell you the truth. Phil Valentine from out of Trinidad and Tobago will be on with me. The origin of the deep state and staying aware. Trinidad and Tobago's own Phil Valentine will be with us. And then we're going to have Kemetic Reiki, and how to use Kemetic Reiki with Sister Kajara Nephet. She was also trained under Sister Queen Afua and the rest of the great ones in the Kemetic culture. I will be on this show on Thursday, December the 14th, I believe. December the 14th, I will be on that show with Alexis Brooks. The numbers don't lie. That's what we're going to be talking about. A deep dive conversation into the power and magic of numbers with the Numerovator King Simon and Alexis Brooks. And it drops on Thursday, of course, the 14th of December. And do remember, Phil Valentine got a big webinar coming up on January 14th. It's called Constructs of the New Old Order. We got Phil Valentine coming back. He's doing a webinar. Go to his website, give him a call at his 1-800 number. And do remember, if you want to take any of my classes, my webinars, you can take this webinar. All you have to do is circulate the funds and put your email, and I'll send the link all the way to your, send the link to the webinar straight to your email, and you'll be able to watch it over and over again. Contact Carrie Ann Ingram at carrieanningram.com. She's a certified spiritual energy healer and guide. Lloyd Strayhorn, those who don't know Lloyd from WBLS, WLIB back in the day, Katie Couric, Oprah Winfrey. This is one of my teachers, of course. Make sure you hit him up at the number or hit him up at his website. And if you do want to advertise on my show, on this show, on mine and Carrie Ann's show, hit us up on the email. And like the great Patrick Smith used to say, remember, advertisement doesn't cost, it pays. Patrick Smith from out of St. Lucia, who used to be on the radio with us with Gil Bailey and the whole crew. All of us was there. And do remember, get any of my books. I got 4 books out there. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. No promotion is bad promotion. And also, Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and Numerovation for mental stability. If you do want to book a numerovational consultation with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022, 347-496-1022. Remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Sirius says, forgive myself, my family. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And like the late, great Dr. Blair used to say, please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. Thank you very much, family, for tuning in, locking in, and being right here on King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe, be strong, be great, and take care of yourself. Peace and love.
I go tell you little something more white history. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them are telling of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. Them come out of the mountains and mix up with seed. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, it's white, white, but let we tell the story. May I go tell you a little truth about the black histories to the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy, to analyze the truth about we body. We're the first to come up with biology, to analyze the lives in the society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology, to construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology. musicology to analyze the minds in their vicinity. Where the first to come up with musicology to put the rhythm in your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, with the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, it's white, but let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, it's white, but let me tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it. Black and white story in my mind, in my mind. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktr.ee at kingsimonthenumerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. It's the numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022, and get my books on Amazon now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and the powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes.